Hi, welcome. I'm Pierre, the outgoing president for IITSC AY 2021, and on behalf of the management committee, I'll be explaining about the roles and responsibility of a management committee member. So, what does the management committee of IITSC do? We serve the student body of IIT by organizing events to foster the IIT spirit and to bring out the holistic aspect of education. Here are some events that we have planned before the pandemic. They are our annual general meeting to appreciate the outgoing committee and to appoint the new incoming management committee. Our team bonding camp, which is made specifically for our subcommittee members to enjoy themselves and to bond as one. We also organize the freshman orientation to prepare the freshmen for their new poly lives. But even during the pandemic, we still do not stop and continue to bring out events for everyone. So, here are some of the events that have been done during the pandemic. First, we have our iAwesome, where students come and exercise together as one. Next, we have our Appreciation Day, where we appreciate the staffs that have been working in the school every day to make sure that we have a conducive environment. Lastly, we also have our Orientation Leaders Training Workshop, which is made to prepare the leaders for freshman orientation. And as a club, we have our values, vision, and mission to uphold. So, what are they? Our values are C, P, and R, which stands for compassion, professionalism, and respect. Our vision is to become the leading constituent club in Temasek Polytechnic. And our mission is to organize safe, cohesive, and engaging programs for the TP and IIT student body and develop everyone holistically, challenging themselves to push boundaries and exceed expectation. Now, let's meet our advisors of the club. We have Mr. Desmond and Mr. Dion. So, with that, what are the roles in IITSC for you guys? We have in total of 8 fixed positions that cannot be changed, and as well as 5 non-fixed positions. The 8 fixed positions are the president, the vice president, the honorary secretary, the assistant honorary secretary, the honorary treasurer, the assistant honorary treasurer, our welfare officer, and our quartermaster. The 5 non-fixed positions are assistant welfare officer, assistant quartermaster, social media and digital outreach officer, public relations and outreach officer, and our subcommittee head. So, let's go in depth into all the different roles. Starting off with our subcommittee heads. As a subcommittee head, you handle the recruitment of the subcommittee. You will be the organizers of the team bonding camp for the subcommittee members. We will help to spread news and events to the subcommittees to encourage help-outs. And you also hold subcommittee meetings to update the subcommittee on new and upcoming events. Moving on, we have our public relations and outreach officers. As a public relations and outreach officer, you'll be taking photos and videos during events, creating publicity materials for events or happenings in IIT school, like posters and videos. And lastly, you'll be in charge of the media committee during camps. Next, we have our social media and digital outreach officer, which is in charge of all of IITSC social media platforms and to update them with posters for events and happenings. You will also be liaising with external parties for events for collaborations. We have our quartermasters. The quartermaster will be in charge of IITSC assets, storerooms, and club room, and are to enforce student hub rules to the users, and are also responsible for loaning items to and from other clubs or organizations. Next, we have our welfare officers. As a welfare officer, you will be in charge of planning of social activities for naming committee members, like birthday celebrations or main committee outings. You'll also be the point of contact between our student interest groups and IITSC to facilitate IIT events. And you are also to support the student interest groups by providing or loaning of resources. Next, we have our treasurers. As a treasurer, you will manage internal and external finances by keeping track of payment records between club members and preparing paperwork for SDA to detail club's expenses in events. So, these are some of the paperwork. We have our payment voucher, which is a report to credit a sum amount of money accordingly to the recipient. Our income statement, which is a report detailing the amount of income the club receives. Our expense report, a report to summarize the expenses used in an event. And last but not least, a petty cash voucher, which is a report to request the loaning of money from SDA for the use by club members. As a treasurer, some recommended traits that is good to have will be to have the capability to handle large amount of money, has an eye for detail to prepare important paperwork, and willing to spend long hours preparing paperwork. Next, we have our secretaries, which are in charge of taking down minutes and time during meetings, constantly updating the calendar for the club schedules and events, as well as vetting of our proposals and closures. Lastly, we have our presidents, which are overall in charge of the entire club and work closely with the staff as well as other clubs in Temasek Poly. As a president, you will set the direction of the club, oversee and plan the events for the academic year. You will be vetting of all the paperwork within the club, as well as a point of contact for the other clubs in Temasek Polytechnic. Now you know all the roles. So, let's move on to the administrative work we have. Before events, as an organizer, you have to complete the proposal, ensure that bookings of location and logistics are done. You have to request for necessary leave of absence for students that require it, and prepare the risk assessment to ensure that in case an accident were to happen, you are prepared for it. And as an organizer, after every event, you have to complete the closure, ensure that the financial statements are done, request for seal points for everyone involved in the event, and lastly, submit photos for the event. So, now you know what are the roles and responsibilities of a management committee member. Now, what criteria should one have? One should be dedicated to serve the student body with commitment and passion. One that is looking to add values and purpose to their student life. One that wishes to inspire people around them. And one that is a motivated learner with a keen interest in events planning. Now we have almost come to the end. For those that are still around, here are the steps to follow if you are interested in running for the management committee. The steps are to check your student email and look out for the email for student election, followed by reading through the email for more details. Afterwards, sign up and nominate, and lastly, wait for updates. With that, we have come to the end. Do follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook, as well as our website www.iitsc.org to stay updated on new events. Thank you.